Hello, hello. Happy Sunday. Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there, and especially to my mama. I'm assuming she's joining tonight because she always does. My name's KJ Hamus, and I want to say welcome to our evening yin practice on this Sunday. If there's anything that you want to get into or anything you want to work on, just take a moment and write it in the comment section. If not, that's totally cool too. As we get settled in here, go ahead and grab like a pillow or a yoga bolster if you have that, or yoga bolster equivalent, and then 2 yoga blocks or yoga block equivalent, so books, board games, anything that feels good. You may not need them, you might, but it's always just kind of really nice to have as we get settled in. So again, if you're just joining us and there's anything you want to work on, just take a quick moment and let me know. Yeah. And so we'll go ahead and we'll get started. Right here, we're going to get started on our backs today. In just a comfortable position. So feel free as you come into your back to maybe even just put the pillow underneath your knees, just so there's a little bit of support, or, so you can really release the low back. And just let the head hang nice and heavy. Oh. Let the arms come out nice and wide. Take up as much real estate on your mat as you'd like. Let the head be nice and heavy. Now let's take 3 deep cleansing breaths here. So full breath in through the nose, filling up the belly, the back, and the ribs. And then exhale, open the mouth, sigh it out, let it go. Deep, slow breath in through the nose. Exhale, open the mouth, sigh it out, let it go. One final time here, full breath in. And a full breath out. Orienting yourself in space and time. The space being here and the time being now. So letting yourself fully release into the shape and allowing yourself to be here for the next 60 minutes. Nowhere else to be, nobody else to worry about. As we start to let the outside world fade away and draw our senses inward, take a moment to acknowledge those teachers and practitioners who came, thanking them for giving us this practice. And then taking a moment to acknowledge what it took to get here today. What it took to come to your mat. And it might have been a really easy decision. It might have been a more challenging decision. But whatever it is that brought you here, you made it. Just take a moment to say thank you to yourself. And be proud that you came. And start to draw the focus to the low belly. Becoming aware of the rise of the inhale and the fall of the exhale. So at this moment, not changing the breath, not controlling the breath, not judging the breath. Just noticing it, noticing how the breath is traveling in the body. Where does it start? Where does it gravitate towards? And then how does the breath move? Is it shallow? Is it heavy? Is it comfortable or uncomfortable? And then start to just broaden your awareness, gently noticing the temperature in the room and how that feels on your skin and the weight of your body on the earth. You let go of any physical tension that you're holding on to. So if you notice maybe that you're gripping your fingers, for example, see if you can release them. Notice if you're really holding up the feet. See if you can let that go. Same with the neck. How can you let your neck sink into the earth? And then start to draw the focus to the heart space. It's checking in with the emotions, becoming aware of how you're showing up. Again, this is not a place for judgment or correcting your feelings. It's to acknowledge. And then as you're ready, start to draw the focus to the space between the eyes. Checking in with the thoughts and just observing how they're moving through the brain. So think of the brain as a highway and the thoughts as cars. You want to be an observer on that highway. Just enjoying watching the thoughts move in and out without engaging. So if there's a lot of traffic happening right now, maybe take a couple of breaths, gather up as many thoughts as you can. And then as you exhale, just gently start to let those thoughts go. And if it's a little traffic, maybe a country road in the middle of nowhere, brain gravitating towards stillness, give yourself permission to go to that place. What makes yin different than just regular stretching is how we use the breath to calm the mind and to sink deeper into the body. So as we draw that connection between the breath happening at the low belly and the mind, as you inhale, you fill up the belly, but begin to visualize the brain is just getting a little smaller. As you exhale, the belly lightly contracts, and the brain begins to expand once again, but the thoughts don't come with it. For our pranayama breath practice today, we're going to take a 4-7-8 breath. So inhale gently for a count of 4. We're going to pause and retain the breath for a count of 7. And as you do that, try and keep the breath in the belly and not shrug the shoulders to the ear. So really pull the breath down on that inhale so the retention happens in the belly and the ribs. And then we'll exhale for a count of 8. But exhale as if you're exhaling out through a straw. So let's take one cleansing breath here. And we'll begin. Gentle inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly exhale for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gentle inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slow breath in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 8, 4, 3, 2, 1. In for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Twice more on your own. Slow and steady. Find your breath rhythm. Just notice how the breath feels. After you finish your last 4, 7, 8 breath, just pause. Just notice how you feel. Check back in. Very gently and slowly roll your way over onto your left side. I'm just going to roll onto my right so nobody has to stare at my booty. And pause here in the curled up position. Draw your knees in and give yourself a real big hug. And then as you feel steady, slowly begin to use your hands to come on up. We're going to start with a half butterfly. And we'll start on the left side here. So our left leg will be long, our right leg will come in. You may want your pillow, or you may want to even stack your blocks if you've got it. And so there's a couple of options. You can come forward in your half butterfly, or if you'd like, you can come directly over the left leg. And this might be one where you're like, oh, I'm going to use like my pillow or my bolster on top of the leg. You can even stack the blocks or your books on each side so you've got a place for the hand to rest. Whatever's going to feel good. And with yin, I'm just setting up my timer. I promise I'm not checking my email. With yin, we don't want to like force our way completely into the pose. We want to go about a 70%. So as you get into that and you're coming into it, you might be like, oh, normally I can go all the way down to my leg, but today I can't. And that's okay. It's just where I'm at. So go ahead and start to find what shape feels good to you. We're going to be working into the low back, particularly the QL muscle here, which connects at the lower rib all the way down to the hip. And it also attaches to our diaphragm. So if the QL muscle is short, it can affect how we breathe. So I'm setting my timer just for 4 minutes. I say just 4, and people might be like, oh my gosh, 4 feels like forever. And it can. So as you settle in here, which is why we're not going 100% in, we're only going to a 70%. Just start by inviting yourself to take a couple of deep, slow breaths in. And after those deep breaths, I want you to notice if you're just holding any tension in any part of this left leg. So maybe you're, holding the foot up, like you feel like you have to keep it flexed or keep it, lifted. Try and release the notice where you're feeling the tension. So if you're feeling it in the back, you might be feeling it in the hip, and see if maybe coming up a little bit helps some of that tension. You don't want to get rid of it completely, but work it in stages. Yeah. So as we use time and we use stillness, we're going to get into those deeper parts of the body. But it's in these moments of stillness that the mind might really start to wander. So that's where our breath comes in handy. And so we're going to take 10 deep breaths together, slow and steady, because when we focus on the breath, we might be surprised at what the body is able to invite us to do. So here, in for 1, gentle exhale for 2. Should have been 1, but that's okay. Inhale 2. Exhale 2. Breath in 3. Breath out 3. Inhale 4. See if you can let the neck release. Breath out 4. Really just let the head hang heavy. I'm keeping my head lifted because my pillow doesn't care what I have to say. Breath in 5. Breath out 5. Inhale peace for 6. Exhale peace 6. Inhale joy 7. Exhale joy 7. As you breathe in 8, let go. As you breathe out 8, sink a little deeper. Breathe in calm 9. Breathe out calm 9. Gentle inhale 10. Gentle exhale. Feel free to stay with that count for the next 30 seconds. I'll take a deep, slow breath in and a deep, slow breath out. Using your hands wherever you're at, just begin to gently walk your way back up. Oof. As you come out of yin-shaped, moans and groans are perfectly acceptable. And then we're going to come into one of my favorites, I think a lot of my students' favorites, the puddle pose. So find your way onto your back, onto your belly, and then just let everything release like a puddle. There's nothing special here. We use this as a chance to tap back into what we're feeling after the shape. So not only did we get into the deep fascial connective tissue and the ligaments and the joints, but we also really tapped into the energy lines that are running along that right side of the body. And the left, depending on how we're stretching out over the leg. So take a moment just to notice what's happening internally. You might feel the energy begin to redistribute and want it to redistribute and integrate after a release like that. And you may feel it really strong. It might be minor, but just notice how it's moving. Take a deep breath in and a deep, slow breath out. If you're ready, go ahead and roll over onto your left side. Pause for a moment, give yourself that real big hug. And then as you feel ready and steady, just slowly begin to use your hands to come on up. So we're going to switch sides now. And this side might be very different, and that's okay. So, honor that and make those adjustments for it. We're in no rush with this. So we'll start to set up again. You might want to put your pillow or your bolster on your leg or blocks on the sides, just depending on what you got. Always feel free to go down the center as well. We set our timer for 4 minutes. I sometimes like to scrunch up my pillow because both sides are very different. It's hard to always release my neck. So as you've taken those couple of breaths to allow yourself to just settle into the shape, come back to the breath. So you might take that 10 count breath on your own, counting in your head up to 10 breaths, or you could even take that 4, 7, 8 breath that we did at the beginning, using your own count. So breathing in for 4, holding for 7, and then breathing out for 8. We just want to use these things to help us stay focused and present in the body. If you do find that the mind is wandering and it's drawing you toward, what's next or the future, maybe ask yourself why, and take a moment to just acknowledge that maybe this is uncomfortable and your body is trying to get you, to think about something else so you can be here. Let's see if you can come back to the breath. If you are experiencing pain though, please get out of the shape, maybe come completely out of it, maybe adjust with props. And we're just working to feel a little bit of tension in this part of the low back here in that QL muscle. And that's not to say you're not going to feel it in the leg on the inside or anything like that. About 30 seconds left here. Continue to breathe deeply, breathe slowly. Let's all take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Gently begin to just work your way back up. Come onto your back or onto your belly. Find your puddle pose. Switch it up here myself. So notice how you feel. But just see what happens when you come into stillness once again. With as little movement as possible. What do you notice about the body? What do you notice about the breath and the mind? Let's take a deep, slow breath in. Then a deep, slow breath out. And as you're ready, roll onto your left side. Find that really big hug. And then just begin to make your way back on. So we're going to come into a frog pose next. And there's a couple variations of frog that we can take. Frog is going to be a deeper external rotation of the hips, and it's going to be a stretch on the inside of the legs. So I highly recommend some props for this, just because most of us are not going to be able to get our chest all the way to the ground. And so it's really nice to have this support. We can create new ground by bringing things closer. So as my pillow's in the way, I was taking my 2 blocks and stacking them one next to each other. Depending on what kind of floor you're using, if you've got carpet, then doing this long ways or doing this on the long edge of your mat is fine. If not, flip it around. You want your knees to be on the mat, yeah? And then from here, you can even place your pillow on the blocks or just use the pillow all together. It's up to you. So your first option is to bring the feet to touch at the back of the mat, knees out wide. That's going to be tadpole pose. So they're going to touch from there. And then second option is you're going to open out the feet. So you've got more of the knees. The knee is going to come out directly from the hip. That's likely going to be a deeper intensity here. You decide where you want the chest on the bolster. Do try and make sure that your head is supported. Your face does not have to be planted into your pillow or your props or the ground. I find that personally to be very uncomfortable. And so I'll give you a halfway warning so you can just switch the cheek and we can even out the spine. We're going to be here for a little bit longer. We're going to go for 6 minutes in this one. So feel free at any point, if it gets to be too much, come out of it and then gently go back into it. But use the breath to try and stay in the shape. And that's why we're not going in all the way. So you might start off in your tadpole and then come out to full frog, or you might stay in tadpole or go from frog to tadpole. And so as you're in this shape, as you're settling in, one, if you feel any pain in the knees, please get out of this. And you can do this shape on your back in a happy baby. I'll demonstrate happy baby real fast. And so you're just on your back, reaching for the outsides of the feet, or I like to reach for behind my knees and place my elbows on the ground to support. So that's the alternative if you're feeling a lot of knee pain. But take a moment here to notice where your tongue is at in your mouth. And if it's at the very top, let it drop down to the bottom. And let it rest at the bottom of the mouth and let the saliva pool around it. Notice what happens in the body when you do that. Can you feel a sense of calm and peace come over the body? And does that allow you to tap into your breath a bit more so you can support the shape? Again, you do not have to go super deep into this. You're going to feel a stretch, but you decide the intensity. Don't go past the 70%. About halfway there. Go ahead and flip your cheek if you've got one cheek down. Switch it up just so we can keep the spine even. Find your breath. So notice after that 3 minutes how you're feeling in the shape. Do you need more support from the props? Are you able to sink in a little easier? Can you find that breath focus? So again, maybe you count the breaths. Maybe you come to a 4, 7, 8 breath. Or maybe as you breathe, you're thinking inhale and exhale. Up to you. About 30 seconds left here. Breathe deeply. Breathe slowly. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Slowly use your hands to walk your way back up. Take your time. Move slowly, move gingerly, move gently. And moans and groans are perfectly acceptable. If you were on your back in happy baby, go ahead and release the legs. Just move your props off to the side and find your way back to your puddle pose on your back or on your belly. Let's really give ourselves some time here to notice what happened after we come out of the shape. Check back in with your breath. Check back in with how you feel physically, mentally, and emotionally. Can you sink a little deeper? Are you able to let go just a little bit more? And take a full breath in and a full breath out. So from here, if you're not on your back, just gently begin to make your way there. And then draw the knees up to the sky, bottom of the feet on the earth. We're going to start on our left foot, work on the front side of the legs into our, what are these called? These are our quads and these front hip flexors. So we've been sitting a lot, which I kind of suspect we're doing more at home. These muscles are getting short and it might feel good to open this up. So we're going to take a variation on a half. So start to bring your left foot toward your right glute. And you'll notice that your knee is going to start to open up out to the side. Go ahead and release that down as far as it wants to go till you feel that stretch along the front side of the leg. This is where a block or maybe two could come in handy, because if the leg doesn't come all the way down, that's fine. Again, create new ground, bring a block underneath the knee. So you can stay here. If you feel the stretch on the front side of that left leg, this is the spot. If you would like a bit more, you need a bit more, maybe you draw the right leg in. You could even take a block, place that underneath the right leg so you don't have to hold it up. Totally up to you, but it could change the intensity here. We're going to be on each side for 3 minutes with a puddle in between. So if your right knee is drawn in, just gently interlace the fingers and press it in toward the chest. If you're doing that, you're probably getting a double whammy as we're coming into this movement of the knee can really help us get into the psoas too, which is get movement muscle. You don't want to be directly on top of the ribs. When you do that with the right leg, think about going to the outside. And breathe. But the main focus is this left leg. About 30 seconds left here. Let's all take a deep breath in, deep breath out. If you're holding onto the right leg, gently release it down. Very slowly scooch the left foot over and bring the knee up, and then extend both legs, finding puddle pose. So notice the difference between the two sides. And then as you're ready to walk your knees back up to the ceiling, we're going to come into the right side. So I'll switch just so you can see that right side. So keeping our left knee bent, start to work the right foot toward our left glute. And then if it feels good, slowly drop the right leg down, working for that stretch along the right side of the front, the right hip flexor. Stay here or draw the left knee in and to the outside of the ribs. Feel free to place a block underneath the right knee or the left foot or both. And settle in here. So we're going to be here for 3 minutes. Got about 30 seconds left here. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Gently release the right leg, straighten out the left. And then straighten out the right, puddle pose. So notice how you feel after coming out of that shape. And for our final shape, we're going to take banana pose. And so from here, take a full body stretch. You want to keep pretty much everything on the ground. So we're not rolling onto our side as we come into the shape. We're just moving parts of the body. So picture your favorite banana fruit, Trader Joe's, Dole, Whole Foods, whatever. From here, I want you to scooch the legs over to the right. Then you're going to take the arms and the shoulders and you're going to scooch them over to the right. So you're on the ground and you're creating a C shape on this right side of the body. So your left side is going to be nice and long. It's going to help us get into the IT band, the outside hip, and the intercostal muscles in the rib cage, all the way up into the arm. So starting at the lower body, you can stay right here. You can cross the ankles. If you find that you've done this shape before and you always go outer to inner, switch it up. Do inner to outer, see what that does. Be mindful when you do this, because if you cross the ankles, you might feel a little extra pulling on the outside of the knee. So it might not be really bad, but be the best judge for yourself and just notice that if it comes up. With the upper body, if you find that the arms are not touching the ground, it's going to be a great place for your block or your bolster. Use that to maybe place your hands on there, or you bring it a little, up a little bit more so your full arm is there. Okay? We're going to be here for about another 3 minutes and 30 seconds. 4 minutes total. About 30 seconds left here. Let's take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Begin to make your way through center, pausing for a moment. We won't be here for long because we're going to move right on to the other side. So draw the arms and the legs over to the left. You'll notice any differences here. And then settle in for this next 4 minutes. About 30 seconds left here. And take a full breath in, full breath out. Very gently and slowly go ahead and come back to center. Release your arms and your legs and find your Savasana, your final resting pose. I invite you here to take a deep cleansing breath in and out, knowing that you've arrived in this moment. And you let yourself sink just a little deeper. And you become 5 to 10% more comfortable. Let everything go. And let the ground hold you up. Begin to invite some gentle movement back into the body by wiggling fingers and wiggling toes. Reach the arms and legs long. Take a full body stretch. And begin to gently take your time. And meet me in a comfortable seat. Absolutely no rush. And as you arrive, pause here. Notice how you feel. And bringing your hands to your heart space. Honor the intention or focus you may have set at the beginning of your practice. Bow your heads in a moment of gratitude, thanking yourself for making time for your mat, for showing up tonight, no matter what it took to get here. And then sending gratitude to those who joined us to create this virtual space and this virtual community. Thank you all so much. I'm so grateful to be able to serve you. I can't wait to see you all so very soon. And we lift our thumbs to the space between the eyes, the third eye center, the seat of the intuition. Know everything you need is already inside. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Peace, Peace, Peace. Thank you all so much. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your evening and a very wonderful start to your week. Happy Mother's Day to all. Hi, Mama. I know you're there, so happy Mother's Day to you. Bye, everybody.